Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Lights Monarch. I'm Casey, and this past week, we just actually got the PlayStation State of Play, the Summer Games Fest, the Xbox Showcase, and the Nintendo Switch 2 release. Now, what a week it's been for gamers, game fans in general. It has been crazy. A lot of announcements, a lot of hopes and dreams, some shattered, some met, especially with the past Xbox Showcase that just passed. Talking to you, Hollow Knight fans, y'all can rejoice in the fact that Silksong has been announced officially in terms of it is coming sometime this year to coincide with Xbox's new ROG handheld thing they've got going. I don't know the complete details on it, but if you look it up, it's right there. I had to start the show talking about that because I know Logan in particular, my buddy. Shout out to you, my dude. I know how excited you are for that game and how much you fucking loved Hollow Knight. Still blows my mind that this man, okay, let me tell you, this man, he platinumed Hollow Knight. He went through the pantheon of the gods, if you will. Every single boss, back to back, one run, you have to beat them. And you get like certain spots to rest up, for my knowledge. I seen him do it, and he did it. He actually fucking did it. He has the platinum to prove it. Insane, buddy. I'm so excited that you're getting the chance to continue said journey with the Hollow Knight franchise being Silksong. Hell yeah. But that's not all I wanted to touch on because there were a lot of things announced. And I'm going to start with the state of play because that is what started everything off here for the big game reveals and release dates, confirmations, all of the good things PlayStation related. Now, for those of you that don't have a PlayStation, I mean, they are probably the biggest home console market, Sony. It's Sony, come on. They're a crazy company. They have a lot of money. And they did a great job with their showcase. Obviously, no Kingdom Hearts throughout every single showcase. A very, very sad day for Kingdom Hearts fans such as myself. Get out the clown paint, as I don't even think we ever put it away, to be honest. But no matter what, Kingdom Hearts is still something that I hold dear. And I know there is a saying of just play other games. I have to agree with the Gamers Joint, as he just posted a video that I seen literally this morning. Made me laugh so hard that it's just not the same. Why, when I want a hamburger, I just go eat a piece of bread? Like, no, I want a burger. Definitely butchering the analogy, though still, I gotta say, Kingdom Hearts not being there is a bummer. I wasn't expecting it, though. Honestly, for anyone that is a Kingdom Hearts fan, anyone that has been following the news train, if you will, you should know that Kingdom Hearts was not promised for this. There was no arrows telling, yo, this is where Kingdom Hearts is going to show up. A lot of people were being hopeful, such as myself, as I am every single time, and I try to listen to them live as they're being streamed, which this time I was, except for the Xbox One. I didn't get to see it in person, as I didn't even realize it was happening until after it was over. My only hope for that, honestly, was Fable, the reboot of Fable, which I know did not get announced at all. Big sad. But again, I'm getting scrambled all over the place. I did want to say there is no Kingdom Hearts, just to put that out there, as I know I talk about Kingdom Hearts often. It is one of my absolute favorite things. And honestly, even with the fact Kingdom Hearts wasn't at the showcase, any of them, I still have to say they all made me very excited for the world of gaming. And I wish I could honestly get my streaming started, like video game streaming on Twitch, YouTube, either or, even if both, but it'd be really cool to get that all started, even if only to give me more of an excuse to experience some of these magnificent titles, because they're honestly works of art, and there's so many that I miss out on. All of the Resident Evil games, which I know people adore, just to say one series, Metal Gear, Death Stranding, like these are all ones that have just been announced. I can even go back to Infamous, Ratchet and Clank, like these series that I wanted to play back in the day but never have. I own them, I do own some of them, not so much the modern games, but there's so many games that have been announced at these events that I actually don't even know if I'll ever play. They make me excited, and that's why I want to talk about it, but Will I ever get around to playing it? I don't know. If I do get streaming, then odds are a lot higher that I will be playing more video games and not just Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts, I could probably go the rest of my life only playing that. I'll say that right now. And that's saying a lot because I love God of War. That is one of my favorite franchises outside of Kingdom Hearts. I love Fable. That is one of my favorite franchises outside of Kingdom Hearts. I love Pokemon. The list goes on. There are quite a lot of franchises that I do enjoy, but those little ones that kind of float through in between, I don't get to experience. And like Deltarune chapters 3 and 4, they just finally came out. I haven't even played chapter 2, and again, apologies to Logan, as I don't know if he's listening, but all the same. I was supposed to play that with him, and I never did. And again, I just keep getting busier and busier, and I want to take the moment to sit back and relax with some of these amazing titles that just are an absolute escape. Something that can be considered like a treat to people that, might not be having the best time in life. And sometimes life gets busy, life gets hard. It's nice to be able to unwind with something akin to a video game where you can just immerse yourself so much into a world, whichever world you choose, because the options are endless. And anyone that gets made fun of or bullied or anything, I know it's not as much of a thing as it was when I was younger about playing video games, how much they're for children and whatnot. They're definitely not considered that anymore. It is more of a universally praised art form, but still not completely recognized as it honestly should be. I think it should be up in the same tier as movies, music. Like, it's another form of art, literal artistry and painting. Like, some of these video games coming out are exciting, but enough rambling from me. Let me just list off a few here that caught my eye throughout the PlayStation Showcase to start with. And honestly, that would be the DLC for Astrobot. Now, this is me just going through the PlayStation blog so I don't forget or miss anything, and the first thing they have here is Astrobot. They're getting some new DLC. Now, Astrobot, for those that don't know, and if you don't know, you're probably not a gamer, so you probably don't care. Though, with Astrobot, what a game. What a series. I can't even say series. I guess I kind of can, because there are multiple games within it in terms of the franchise. Like, it started on PS4, I do believe, and then was, I think, just the iToy mascot, and grew into what it is now, and it has its own game. Apparently amazing. It won the Game of the Year when it did, when it was released the year it was. And they're adding more DLC to it. Fingers crossed we get Sora. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous. I've never played the game. This is one that I do plan on playing. Believe me, I platinumed the original that came with the PS5, Astro's Playroom or Playbot. I can't remember the names. I apologize. The one that is pre-installed with the PS5, though, I did complete. It was so much fun. An absolute joy to play. A huge love letter to PlayStation and the years that it has been around. It was crazy. But more DLC for that. Fingers crossed they add Sora as one of the little Astrobot dudes, because that would really make me incredibly happy just as a fan, and would give me more of a reason to jump over that price hurdle and just buy the game, because that's really all that is ever stopping me from doing these things, because I don't want to say cheap, but gaming isn't cheap. It is expensive, and for an adult life, it is a little bit tricky. Though it is a game I do plan on playing one day, and hopefully that is one day soon. Now, the next thing I wanted to kind of touch on, there are a couple other things like Karen, which seems to be a survival climber kind of game. Comes out November 5th, and you can just climb up anywhere on the mountain, and you just have to literally make your way up to the top. That sounded so intriguing to me, and it is a way for people to just, again, get lost. And I know you can argue, just go outside and hike. Are you going to go climb a mountain? Please tell me. Please tell me, because I don't know, anything with those kinds of visuals, climbing a mountain, the imagery behind that, the symbolism of what it holds, makes me think of a game called Celeste. And I know this game is going to be completely different. I've never played Celeste. I've seen Logan play it tons. And it is a game that I love the concept of. The concept of being able to move past some of your hardest trials that may be placed in front of you it reminds me of that, and I have no idea on what kind of symbolism it holds or if it is supposed to be taken as such, but it seems interesting, and it is one that I wouldn't mind being able to see more of, as apparently there is a demo out. So, might be worth a shot. Next, everybody's golf hot shots. I don't give a shit about golf. I will be straight up, and sorry to everyone out there that does. It's just not my sport. Though, the thing that caught me off guard was the fact that they're adding Pac-Man. My boy, Pac-Man. Hell yes. Now, I love Pac-Man. I cannot deny that fact. Pac-Man's going to be in this golf game. Will that give me reason to play it? Probably not. But when I seen his fucking mug, his smile, his grin with the golf club, it made me laugh. It made me so happy to see because it is ridiculous. And I hope that it ends up, honestly, leading to more Pac-Man things. As I know he just turned, I think, 30 or 35. And give us Pac-Man World 2 remake, please. Please, fingers crossed. I know I still haven't platinumed Pac-Man World 1 repack, which is the remake of it. But I will get there. I just need to master the original Pac-Man, truly. And will I do that? I hope so, but I don't really know. Now, for Square Enix, they were there. They were at the showcase in terms of showing a trailer. Now, the ding, it is PTSD at this point, the Square Enix ding. And this ding did the exact same trick as Square Enix showed up with not Kingdom Hearts, not Final Fantasy IX Remake as a lot of people were hoping for, but Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. Now, I might have butchered that, but it is the original Final Fantasy Tactics that was put out for PlayStation in 1997. And this version of it has the original classic version as well as an updated remade version of the game. It looks super cool. I love games that are in the vein of Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics. I've never played them much, but whenever I get the chance to do so, I do enjoy them. So even though this wasn't Kingdom Hearts, it wasn't a complete bust. It is still something that I can say looks interesting, and I could honestly see myself giving it a shot at some point if it ever comes up. Now, Hirogami. I only mentioned this one because it gave me reminiscent thoughts of Tearaway, which is an amazing game, not the same company by any means, but it reminded me of such with it being literally made out of paper. It's like a craft kind of world made out of paper crafts and such. It looks really cool. I don't know much about it on top of that, but it just looks so interesting and artistic, and games like that I can't help but get my eye caught, as there are games that were in the Summer Games Fest, which I will get into here real quick, that caught my attention all the same, that are very artistic and very just art driven, like ones that are not just video games, but they seem like they're made with like a puppet game, stop motion animation, claymation. Like there's so many cool ways of making video games nowadays that were so limited in the past. Like I know back in, I want to say 10, 15 years ago, you would see more so pixel art games for the stylistic choices. And now we're moving into literal art forms of claymation and stop motion, but being presented in video game format. And that just blows me away. Stop motion is one of my favorites, so the fact that we're able to do this in video game form where you can play the game as set, like that's so much. It makes me so happy and just so curious to know how these games actually play. Now, another one that caught me off guard and piqued my interest was what they started the show with, and that was Lumines Arise. It's kind of like a Tetris-based game, not a game for me, doubtful I'll ever play it, but they are really big on the music and rhythm into being kind of intermingled with Tetris. That's the best way I can even think to describe it. They did make Tetris Effect on the PS4 for the VR, and this is also for the VR, as well as just being able to play it regularly. It looks cool. And then obviously Marvel fighting game, Marvel Token, Fighting Souls. People went wild for that. Not really my cup of tea. Same thing with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I don't really know for both of them. Like, I love games akin to Mortal Kombat, which is getting the Legacy Collection from the same people that did the beloved Turtles collection that had all of the arcade games. They're doing the same thing for Mortal Kombat, and saying so, I played a lot of those games, not so much the Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter-esque games. I was more so Mortal Kombat, Injustice. That was my jam. Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. That kind of stuff was what I grew up playing, but it does look cool. I cannot deny how flashy and cool it all looks. And then Metal Gear, obviously, I really want to get into it. I do have I believe it's called Legacy Collection for the PS3. Never played it, and honestly, it's a huge shame that I haven't, but it is something that I want to get into. And the one that caught me off guard as well is Romeo is a Dead Man. It just looked ridiculous and reminded me of, I want to say, something similar to what Lollipop Chainsaw was, in just the ridiculous, fast-paced action combat. Like, it looked really cool. Whether or not it'll be a game to keep your eye out for, we will see. Silent Hill F is something that also got announced, which we already knew about, but it launches September 25th on PS5, and that is a game that I want to start with. I've never played much Silent Hill. I do have Silent Hill 2 on the PS2, which I've played a little bit, but I really want to get into it. It looks really cool, and if that's a way for me to get into the series, as the creator has said, it is a way, like it's a gateway to the series. You don't need to play anything else. Makes me excited. I might finally be able to experience Silent Hill, and hopefully that can follow me to getting into the Resident Evil series, as there was something announced for that at the Summer's Game Fest. To finish off with PlayStation, though, the last thing that really caught my interest was the Sword of the Sea. From the makers of Journey and Abzu, those kind of games. Very stylistic, very artistic, just beautiful. Beautiful games. And I've only played Journey. I can't speak towards the other ones, but all their games are kind of the same in the visual sense. Now, I know this game, it comes out for free August 19th if you have PlayStation Plus. It'll be on the catalog. And I cannot wait. That is something, August 19th, if I'm not doing anything, I'm playing that, because it looks so beautiful, and it, again, with all their other games that I have played, I know it's only been the one, but I can speak for what other people have said as well, that those games truly are experiences, and it's something that makes me excited to be able to experience some more of, because Journey, when I first played that, shout out to Ryan, he's the one that made me play it, because I could get it for free on the PS4 at the time. So good, so happy that I was able to play it, because what a journey it truly was. And the fact that this one's coming out soon makes me excited, and honestly, I cannot wait to try and play Sword of the Sea. Now with Summer Games Fest, this one I don't have as much to talk on or talk about truly, as again, I'm not super into video games. I want to be more into them as I used to be back as a child, but adult life is busy. I don't have as much time, and to those that do, power to you. I cannot believe how well you guys ate this whole week. I know some people might say differently, but there was a lot that people were hyped for, and honestly, they did not need to go as hard as they did with some of the announcements, and some of them that caught me off guard, even though a lot of it was either Fortnite nonsense, which I don't personally care for, or games that look fucking amazing, very brutal, very dark, very sick looking, kind of Bloodborne-esque, Dark Souls-like games. Seems to be a bit of an oversaturation of them looking at these presentations, so I'm not going to touch on any of them truly, except for like the one they started with, Mortal Shell 2. I don't know the games. I've never really played any of them. I want to play Elden Ring, and my buddy Ryan, he's the one that bought it for me back when it came out. Yeah, still haven't played it, and I feel shitty for it. So I will get to that one, and I'll probably end up streaming it if I get around to getting the streaming all set up. But regardless, it is one I'm playing. I'm not going to be that kind of friend. Looks exciting. All of them do. And I hope it isn't an oversaturation in a bad way. I truly hope that being we're getting so many of the games that it is just more of a good thing. I know that that's being painfully optimistic and probably not very realistic, but all the same, I just want to hold out hope for everybody, for gamers in general, because if there is a crash in those kinds of games, we might even see the influx of more platformers. Who knows? Who knows what the next big thing is going to be in gaming? No one really does. And I don't want to say it's going to have to do something with AI, but it very well might. So please take it with a grain of salt. Enjoy what we have right now and really play and speak for what your favorite things are, because there's even more kart racers. Sonic Racing, Cross Worlds. It just got announced not too long ago. It might have been announced just for the first time here, but they showed some new characters, and that's kind of what I wanted to touch on. Just a lot of games seem to be collaborating and bringing their worlds into one another. And with Sonic Cross Worlds, it makes sense, as they showed off a character from Yakuza, they showed off Joker from Persona 5, and they also showed off Hatsune Miku. You can drive as Hatsune... What? I mean, cool. That is fucking cool. And same with Minecraft being a part of it as well. All very cool things, but it's not going to be for me. Shout out to them for fucking throwing shade at Nintendo, though, as they're both kart racers. It was just hilarious to see. But with all of the Bloodborne-esque Souls games, Code Vein 2, that is another one that got announced, and that one is something that people went wild for. I know that it isn't the best in terms of Souls-like games, but it has its dedicated fan base. And the Gamers Joint, someone I like to watch, a Kingdom Hearts YouTuber, a content creator, if you will, he was very excited for it, so I had to touch on it. And the other one that made me excited, only downside is it being a first-person shooter-esque game, as I don't play those much, was Mouse PI for Hire, which I know has already been talked about, has been announced for a while, but it is the rubber hose style animation kind of game. It looks really cool, and literally the animation alone is what makes me want to play it. I don't play first-person games, though. I'll be straight up. They're just not my cup of tea. That one, though, might actually change that. The next one that really got me excited, though, was Felt That Boxing. It's puppets. It's like a Dark Muppets. It's wild, because he said that it was running in real-time in-game engine. And I thought when I was watching it, I had to watch a recap of it, because I thought while watching it, it was just, someone videotaped it. No, it is running in engine. That is all graphics. The fact that these graphics have come so far blows my mind. Like that, it looked real. Absolutely real. And that I cannot even get over. Because I personally love the Muppets. I do quite love puppets. Maybe not as much as Jeff does, as he is always talking about the Muppets and loves having them on the show. But in terms of gaming, I don't think we've seen much like this, and that alone makes me quite excited. Also, Killer In. Rip to Square Enix, as they announced Killer In. That was the only game they were a part of. And I know that, holding out hope for Kingdom Hearts or maybe another Final Fantasy title is not exactly the smartest move. But, I wanted to try to be hopeful, and the fact that that is all that we got is wild to me, because it should have been something more. It gave me Among Us vibes, and I think that the majority of people are probably over Among Us. That was the big thing in the pandemic years, and I don't know if anyone is still playing it. I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong either. Could definitely be wrong on saying that, but Square, that's really all you had. Not even anything else. I don't mean to be greedy or anything, but it just definitely made me laugh, because wow, that isn't what I was expecting. And I don't think it was what anyone was expecting either, because, it's Square Enix. They have huge, huge franchises, and especially with not only Kingdom Hearts, but Dragon Quest, they've been eating dust. They've got nothing. So something towards any of those franchises would have been amazing. Obviously not the case, but what can you do? Now, as I was mentioning, the claymation stop-motion-esque games, Out of Words is the one I was really talking about. It was announced at Summer Game Fest, and it's described as a handcrafted game, and from the characters, from the whole entire world, absolutely handcrafted, made of clay and wood and all the, real-life materials. Don't know if it is actually stop-motion and taken, frame by frame, picture by picture. No clue, but it looks like it, and that's what makes me excited. Same with Lego Voyagers. It's a two-player game. Both of them are two-player. So you need to have either your significant other, a sibling, a best friend, regardless who it is, someone to play with you, and they both look very exciting as co-op games, and one that actually harnessed my inner child and my history of gaming with the Nicktoon games. There's a new Nicktoons game on the way called The Dice of Destiny. Now, not much was shown of it at all, but just the fact that they're making another Nicktoons game makes me go wild. I had to save that one because that's going to be something. I hope it's good, but we'll find out. Then Fractured Blooms. This one I have to talk about because it caught me off guard with the way that it was announced. Jeff actually said, with his words, that it was pitched as Doki Doki Literature Club meets Silent Hill, and honestly, I have to say with the trailer, they're not far off. It looks very creepy, it looks very interesting. How it's based off of a true story, as the trailer so boasted, no clue, but it looks sick. Then, from the makers of Shovel Knight, a huge indie game that really shot Yacht Club games into the spotlight, they're bringing out Mina the Hollower, which seems to be their next title. Looks very interesting, not the same, not as akin to said Shovel Knight, but it looks very interesting, and it's something that I think true classic video game fans are going to have an absolute blast with it. The next one to catch my eye was Mixtape. Now this one was announced, I think, at the Game Awards last year, but it really caught me off guard this time because it showed more of the game. And it really captures that kind of teenage angst, the teenage years that you're able to live out. It just harkens that, and again, it's huge on nostalgia, but it looks so well done. And it has an incredible soundtrack from the looks of it. Huge names on it, all the way from Iggy Pop to The Cure, Smashing Pumpkins. Like, it's going to be really interesting to see how that game turns out, and if they're able to reach the hype that it is currently building. And now, probably the most hype announcement, aside from one other one, is Scott Pilgrim EX. Now, it is another Scott Pilgrim video game. Hell yeah! I haven't played the original, but I know how much people love it, and I myself love Scott Pilgrim. Have only really seen the movie, but the graphic novels are something I've always wanted to get into. Now, with Scott Pilgrim EX, it's a brand new 2D side-scroller brawling adventure where you can play as Scott and Ramona and his former rivals from the comics. It's an online 4-player co-op adventure, and it's coming out in 2026. Sounds very intriguing, very interesting, and again, whether or not it really pulls through, we will see. But they're back. It is actually back, and that in itself is wild. As for the longest time, we thought that Scott Pilgrim was dead in the water, especially with that old kind of PlayStation Store video game. Like, I know it got remastered and remade just recently, but before that, we had nothing. And now, Scott Pilgrim fans, we eaten large. The other one that I wanted to touch on before the big reveal was Into the Unwell. It seems to be like a Looney Tunes-esque kind of game. It's definitely not Looney Tunes, but it's the same kind of animation, akin to the Rubber Hose style. I don't really know much about it, but even the caption here says, Looney Tunes violence in an action roguelike featuring a drunk cat who fights slices of pizza, cartoon wolves, and more. It's so up in the air on what the game is going to be, but I am curious, and it's something that really I kind of want to play. But the big reveal, and it is another reason why I'm like, holy shit, I need to get into this franchise. Resident Evil Requiem. Resident Evil 9 Requiem. It got announced at the end, the big reveal, boom, big reveal of the Game Awards is Resident Evil Requiem, of Summer's Game Fest. Jeez, Jeff, same man, but not not the same showcase. Now, it looks really cool. It comes out February 27th, 2026, and man, are Resi fans ever eaten good. Congrats to you guys for getting some games for your favorite franchise. Absolutely, I'm a little jealous, but hey, cannot wait to see what kind of hype that brings up, and it really, really, again, pushes me to want to get into that franchise. I hope I'm finally able to. Now, I know I've been rambling about video games for far too long, far longer than I even imagined I would have been, but there's one left, the Xbox Showcase. Now, this in itself, there was some that was announced that I actually was very excited about. Again, no Fable was announced, no Kingdom Hearts. Big sad, I was not expecting Kingdom Hearts though. But for Xbox, I mean, with the fact that they aren't really a studio in terms of console making and, pushing their console, as their newest advertisements have been everything is an Xbox. But honestly, I was caught off guard with how much they did announce, like the Hollow Knight sequel, Silk Song, and that handheld, the Xbox handheld using a Ryzen AI APU. I don't know if it's going to be any good. It seems really interesting, but it's an Xbox you can hold in your hands. Looks kind of like the PlayStation Portal, and I would imagine it probably works the same. I don't imagine it being very powerful. It's probably a cloud-based thing, as most of their quote-unquote Xboxes are, unless if you have the actual Xbox itself. But the big thing was the Hollow Knight Silk Song getting its final debut. I know that it comes out sometime the end of this year, and the fact that that's happening, very good, very exciting for all the people out there. But one thing that caught me off guard, amongst the many, was Super Meat Boy 3D. Now, Super Meat Boy is an old indie game, and it is one that was not ever in 3D, but it is one of their infuriating titles that, you're meant to die in when you play it. You're meant to die over and over again, just beating your face against the wall. Why people play them, I don't know, but they are, or at least it is, a game that always intrigued me, and it is one that I always wanted to play, but I never really got the chance. Now it's going to 3D, and it looks absolutely sick. I cannot wait to see how good that actually is, because usually when things make their way to being 3D, not really the best outcome, at least as history has shown, so hopefully that isn't the case this time. Next up, for Xbox, they actually were able to show us Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 has not only Doom Guy in it, but also the Ninja Turtles. It has Mikey. Our boy Mikey. Now, shout out to Crystal. I had to tell you about this, as I know you love the Ninja Turtles, and I personally adore them as well. Maybe not as much as you do, but the fact that you can skate as Mikey in the new remakes for those games is super cool, super exciting, and obviously it's a game that I am keeping my eye out for. Then Persona 4 Remake. It's finally confirmed officially, as it has been talked about. Probably one of the worst held secrets in gaming history. I mean, come on, because people knew about it for a long time now. And now it's officially official. So hell yeah to the Persona fans out there. Logan, I'm looking at you again. But the trilogy of remakes are finally done. They remade 3, they remade 5 with Persona 5 Royal, which you can consider a remake, but it did change the story up a bit. It was kind of a new take on it, but all the same, the Persona R games, they are finally done. I know that there's older Persona games, but I mean, for when they were actually Persona titles, we've got the majority of the ones that make sense remaking. They could remake the older ones, whether or not they will, totally up in the air, but they are not only remaking 4, but they're also looking forward to the future of the series, so more Persona on the way. Hell yeah. And honestly, the last thing that I really wanted to touch upon was the Invincible Versus game. It's going to be a 2D tag fighter, kind of akin to the Street Fighter-esque, even like that Marvel fighting game that PlayStation announced. Looks really cool. I don't really know much about it. I'm not super excited because I'm not incredibly caught up to Invincible, which I know, shame on me, but it is exciting alone, just for the simple fact that, hell yeah, we're getting something for Invincible that is outside of the comics and outside of the Amazon Prime show. Now, not to mention all of this gaming news, we also got the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, that dropped to much people's excitement, and supposedly Mario Kart World leaves some to be desired, which is unfortunate to hear, as that was their reasoning. They literally based their reasoning on upping the prices because don't worry, it's worth it. And the fact that some people are saying, yo, it's not worth it, is a little bit disheartening. And again, I know that companies, they will always be money hungry, but it's unfortunate to see, and you never really want to see it. So I won't be getting any Nintendo Switch 2 for the foreseeable future. Maybe one day, but as of right now, I'm content. And I like the way it looks. I think it's really cool that it exists. Will I ever play one? I hope one day. I do want to play Mario Kart World, even though people are disappointed with it. I think what will really push me to get one is if Kingdom Hearts is ever announced for it, especially the older titles. Like, a new title, 100%. But if they finally were like, yo, we're not keeping Kingdom Hearts on the cloud, here it is on cartridge for Nintendo Switch 2, that would be enough. Honestly, that would be enough for me to be able to take Kingdom Hearts anywhere I want to go. I know you can do that with the Steam Deck already. But to have a console that can also play the amazing Nintendo games, as I know Nintendo can make amazing games, makes me excited. I know it's just a possibility, but if one day it happens, hell yeah. And then it'll finally give me reason to play all these games that I do love in better frame rate, better quality, regardless, especially Pokemon Scarlet. I've still yet to finish that. And the reason why is because of how bad it ran. I just couldn't look past it. And I know it's silly to say, but it's really what stopped me. And I hope that I can look past it one day. And maybe that day will be when I get a Nintendo Switch 2. But unfortunately, as of right now, I'm not going to finish it. And that's just how it is. Just how it is. But Nintendo Switch 2, maybe one day. Looks really cool. Hope that it lives up to all of the hype that it has been literally pushing through. Because the Nintendo Switch is something very hard to follow up, so the Switch 2 has some giant shoes to fill. Now, to kind of end off the episode here, I just want to talk about a couple things. 3 Days Grace. Now, they aren't releasing new music right away. Their album does come out soon, though. Don't get me wrong, it comes out this fall. But 3 Days Grace is having a show June 10th in Edmonton, with Volbeat and Wage War. I'm going myself with Reese. Both of us are going to Edmonton to see the show. Super excited for that because 3 Days Grace I've seen once. And the one time I seen them was for the Outsiders tour back in December 6th of 2018. An absolute age ago. Like, I know it's not that long ago, but it feels like forever ago. And I seen them in GP with Bad Wolves, and I believe nothing more. Don't think there was any other bands on the set list. If there was, I apologize for forgetting. But their show was amazing then, and I can only imagine how much more amazing it will be this time, as we're going to be able to hear Adam sing. Adam Gauthier. I believe that's how you say his last name. If not, apologies for butchering it. But we get to hear him sing the old classics alongside with their, I want to say new, but their singer that they've had for a while, the Darkest Days singer, Maddie. I'm so excited that they are currently making an album where they're duetting each other, and also just being able to tour on that scale and sing these songs that fans adore with the actual voice that was singing them originally. Like, that was what pushed me to get these tickets. And I think if not for that, I probably wouldn't have went and seen them unless if they hit up Grand Prairie. Though they're going to Edmonton with Volbeat, which I have seen as well with Godsmack years ago, probably around the same year of 2018 in Dawson Creek. They did an amazing show there. And honestly, Volbeat, I'm not a huge fan. I like their stuff, and obviously they're super fun to jam out to. But the big one I'm excited for is 3 Days Grace, for that simple fact that I get to hear Adam. I get to hear him singing those classic songs that I adored and literally cried to countless times over the years. Very excited for that. And on top of it, Wage War. Hello? Like, I know I talked about it a little bit already in prior episodes, but this finally gives me an excuse. Not that I should have needed one, but it does give me a proper excuse to listen and dive into what they've got. Because from what I've heard, they're fantastic. So it makes me really excited overall. And I see them in literally a couple days. As you're listening to this on Monday, if you're listening to it the day it drops, I'm seeing them tomorrow. So hell yeah. I'll be sure to have that in my next episode. It'll be about the trip entirely and whatever else shenanigans happen that week. But it makes me very excited. I cannot wait. I hope it's a wicked show. And to be able to show Reese one of her first real big scale rock shows, it's going to be fun. I cannot wait. And she did just get her nails done for it, and I went with her, got my nails done, not for the show, but to support the Edmonton Oilers, as we are going to Edmonton for the show. It felt so fitting as they are currently in the Stanley Cup Finals. Hell yeah. And even though my nails don't match as much as hers do, as she got the red and black on her nails for colors, I would love to explain it, but I might just have to post a photo of it, honestly. But I got the same kind of design, just with the blue, orange, and white instead of red and black. All the same, amazing, so excited, like, I want to go, honestly, tomorrow, but I know I have to wait one extra day. It's going to be a hell of a time, because then when I get back the next day after I get back from the show is going to be 21 Pilots. They have a new song coming out, if you didn't know. So, again, one thing at a time here, so let me transition into the Oilers first, and then I'll get into 21 Pilots, because the Oilers, I'm going down there. I got my nails done for it. I know I don't need to, but it was something that was kind of like, yo, let's just do it. And it's another way to support my team. They are against Florida Panthers for a rematch this year and have been already. It is currently 2 games in, tied 1-1 for the series, best of 7, obviously, as those who know. The Stanley Cup Finals is going to continue on Monday, which is, again, the day this episode released. Hopefully they can win. Fingers crossed, boys, let's go. I'll be wearing my jersey. I, again, have my nails done. I will be going all out as much as I can, and I really just hope they can pull this off. They're in Florida for Game 3, and I truly think that they are the representation of Canada. They are Team Canada this year, just as they were last year, but even more so this year. It feels like this year they've really got the chance. As every game that they've played, the first 2 have went to overtime. The first one was first overtime. We got a lucky break and won. Second one, not so lucky. It went to 2 OT, and Florida won. Really hoping that the push continues, that the Oilers really continue pushing as hard as they can, because this is it. This is the final. These are the games that they spend the whole entire season getting to and pushing towards and doing all they can to win. So fingers crossed that they're actually able to do so this year. And if I'm able to go to Edmonton for this concert, for the Volbeat 3 Days Grace and Wage War show after an Oilers win, I can only imagine how lively the city is going to be. Just in complete preparation and excitement for hopefully them bringing the cup back to Canada. Now, there's going to be 2 games in Florida. Fucking Florida. I hope that Edmonton can beat Florida. And if they can, hell yeah. Let's go, Oilers. Let's bring the cup home. 1 game at a time. We can do it. Let's go, boys. Now, as I was saying, 21 Pilots, congratulations to them. They reached a milestone. They reached the milestone of 19 billion streams on Spotify, surpassing even 19 billion streams on Spotify, becoming the 69th most streamed artist on the platform ever, which is insane and nice. Super happy to see. And also congrats to Taylor Swift. I have to shout that out right now before I forget. For her having all of her albums trending following the announcement of her owning her masters after years of struggles and work. Hell yeah, what a powerful woman. So excited and happy to say that she does own that. Like, I know it's been a week now, but just still living on cloud 9 about it. So happy to be able to enjoy her old albums as they were when they were first made, because I wasn't able to for years. Just as many Swifties weren't. So it's very exciting. Very awesome. And again, congrats to Taylor Swift and 21 Pilots for reaching their milestone. And 21 Pilots, as I mentioned, they've got their new song, The Contract, coming out June 12th. When was that? June 12th. It comes out June 12th, and it makes me excited because I'm a huge 21 Pilots fan, for those that don't know. Think I can honestly stop saying that, as people that have been listening to the show at all probably already know. And I'm sorry for ever alienating any of you that don't know. I will have an episode out about it at some point, or some sort of project towards it, I promise. But the absolute hype that they have been building for this song is unlike any other. They are really going all out for this kind of build up to the contract and a breach in general. I hope that the album's good. It's going to be dark. It's going to be insane. It's the final fight. It is the battle. It is the final album in this storyline for what we know, and they are being so cryptic. There's so many black and white videos posted either to the Blurryface Twitter page or the band's Twitter page itself. They are being incredibly cryptic, incredibly deep. Like, I know it sounds silly from the outside looking in, but the videos that they've been posting, the audio that is muffled and seemingly to be lyrics or something of the sorts, there's so many questions around it all, and I would really love to get into it right now, but that would only make this episode even longer than it needs to be. So I will leave it in saying that the most recent post they did post was the contract being a few days away, and the eyeballs blinked. So we are being watched. The two dots that are in between the numbers, if you watch the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're like eyeballs, two red dots that end up blinking. And obviously red eyes, if you think of that in lore terms, is always Blurryface or a bishop. So we're being watched. And what this song is going to sound like, what it's going to hold lyrically, if these are lyrics we're hearing, sounds very dark and very concerning in terms of story. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. None of the banditos, none of the clickies do. But I think I can say collectively for everyone, we are ready. And we are so excited. We are ready to fight. We are ready for this music. 21 Pilots, new song, The Contract, June 12th. Cannot wait. Holy shit. And Noah, I know if you're listening, you are hyped as well. Hell yeah. I cannot wait to talk about it in full, in depth with the next episode that comes out. Because odds are that's what the next episode will be that you'll hear will be about that as well as the show that I just seen. Because hell yeah. What else? Unless if something random happens throughout the week. Some more Kingdom Hearts news, perhaps. I know that is being unrealistic, but holy fuck. I would lose it. I would lose it. Now, to end it off truly this time, I wanted to say Black Veil Brides. They have something planned. Not sure what it is, but they've been posting a photo of lockers. The lockers that were shown in the Knives and Pens music video all those years ago, back in like 2009. It's crazy that it's been that long, but this is the month that is called Black Veil Brides Month for the reason being that they came out with Knives and Pens this month. And it seems they've got something planned for the anniversary of the song. And again, that day itself is Black Veil Brides Day, or International Black Veil Brides Day, by the fellow fans and members of the BVB Army, which makes me excited, because anytime Black Veil does something, it marks an occasion and another reason to celebrate with listening to some more Black Veil Brides music. And obviously, they are one of my favorite bands. I don't talk about them as much as I do 21 Pilots, but they are what got me into music, and again, have saved me countless times, or at least given me the power to save myself. And I am very excited to see what this is, even if it is just another merch drop. I don't really care. Just give me something. Black Veil, I've been waiting patiently, and I cannot wait to eat when you release whatever you have planned. Even if it isn't music yet, I know that we're on the verge of the new album, and that alone makes me excited. Now, for some new music releases, Dopamine by Cami Keho. Very good. She is a TikTok-esque artist. She at least grew her following there. She plays the drums. Absolutely impressive. Then Never Not Love You by Belinda and 30 Seconds to Mars from her new album that just came out same day, or at least the day after. Very, very good. Honestly, I don't listen to Spanish music much. I just don't. And because I don't speak the language, I know that that isn't really a valid excuse, as I do listen to some other language artists anyways, but very good song, very emotional, and one that I think people should listen to, especially if they are 30 Seconds to Mars fans. Then Easy Come, Easy Go by the All-American Rejects. Hell yeah, another single from the boys. After we found out that they have an OnlyFans. Yes, it's real. Look it up. Holy shit. But the All-American Rejects, they are back and back with a vengeance, and I cannot wait for their new album. Still doesn't have a release date to my knowledge, but it is exciting, and I personally am excited to hear what they've got past this. Then Holiday Triple J Leica version by the Amity Affliction. More new music from them. Hell yeah. Like, absolutely. Hell yeah. I cannot wait. I'm glad that they are on the incline in making new songs, doing new things. It's a shame that it had to be at the loss of the old singer, but all the same, they're thriving, and I hope it can continue to be said as such. Then I heard they kill Live 2 by Ice Nine Kills, a live album, a sequel to their first. Fight Like a Girl featuring K-Flay by Evanescence. Very interesting. Wasn't exactly my complete vibe, but I can, all respect behind it for what it says. Then Snuff by Bad Flower. Their new album comes out, I believe, this week, if I'm not mistaken. It comes out actually in 11 days, so very soon. Their new song I haven't listened to because I'm waiting for the album at this point. Too many singles, something I don't enjoy, so something I'm waiting for. And then, speaking of waiting, Waiting for You by Not Enough Space is a brand new EP. They are blowing up right now, and they are kind of the moancore band. I talked about their release back when they did the song with Dark Divine. Very good, very intriguing. I cannot wait to hear more from them because I really like it. Then Tragic Comedy by Jacob Lee, another sad one from the saddest boy that I think I listened to. He just knows how to make good music. Shout out to Logan for ever showing me him. Very good song. Please give him a listen because he deserves more listeners. Then to kind of end off the singles with Daddy by Victoria and Ash Nico. Haven't given that one a listen yet, but it is on the list here, and it is one I wanted to talk about because what a title. And what a single art, because it is somebody, a man laying on the floor with a high heel in his mouth. Where it's going from there, couldn't tell you, but what a fucking picture. Then, for albums, this is the one I was really saving for last. 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge Deluxe Edition. It is a 2025 mix, meaning it is remixed, not remastered, not remixed in the sense of the unce and like party vibes. It was remixed in terms of changing things. I have not heard it yet. I plan on listening to it on the way down for the 3 Days Grace show. I am so excited. I am beyond words of excitement because it's exciting to know that we are getting something new from a band that hasn't been releasing anything, and MCR, please release something new because holy fuck, I want more music from you guys. I know that's being greedy. I know I shouldn't be, but I can't help it. Please give us something. Please. Anyways, the only other thing I could even imagine talking about for new releases, as I know there's so many, but the only one that I did want to give some attention to is the new Turnstile album Never Enough, because Hayley Williams was just there showing off her talent and performing a song from it with them on stage. An amazing feat to be had, especially with how much she loves Turnstile and has since the beginning of her career. Just seems so fitting and full circle, and I hope that y'all enjoy all of the music recommended and music that has come out, and are excited for new 21 Pilots, excited for the world of video games, and also what it means for the world of art. Now, if anyone listening got a Nintendo Switch 2, let me know in the comments of the episode. Hit me up on my socials at Lights Monarch. That's what I'm on everything, and I cannot wait to hear of your experience. Let me know how it's been, because I do want one, and it would be cool to give, me a little reason to push and get one. Anyways, with all that being said, thank you for listening, and thank you for discovering the music within.